The concept of crossover is key to the American experience. I mean, it's just happening all the time. And living in New York City, it's just, you're constantly listening to somebody else's language, looking at somebody else's face, you're looking at mixes, and it's hard not to be amazed about some of the results of that. And the only thing I can tell people relative to that is the things that seem to be crossing over, make sure you know where they are crossing over from. So it also takes you back to the study of roots of all kinds. And so you keep finding yourself plunging back into the beginnings of worlds and trying to understand that. One thing I discovered while composing early on was that there were stretches I'd be composing, saying I write something and listen to it, and I get embarrassed. I discovered soon after that those are the important parts. That's you know. When I would feel embarrassed, I was also in a situation in which I was not defended. I was sort of hung out to dry, you know. In other words, as I came up, those two schools, the uptown and downtown, were strong, and they sounded particular ways, you know, and they behaved particular ways. So as I was writing my music, I was aware, and of course because of being a critic, I heard everything, so I knew what people were doing. There were stretches in which I just didn't sound like either of those things, you know. So at any rate, I say to emerging composers, young composers, people who want to compose, when you hit one of those spots, check it out. It may be because you have no business writing that, or trying to write that, but it may also be that that's your voice. One of the reasons I enjoy being a music critic was just that experience of taking that voyage into somebody else's way of thinking, turning myself over to the composer, turning myself over to the musical experience, and letting it have its way with me. And if I suddenly think, what happened to that first theme? In other words, I would take notes on how my listening experience was going. And then once a year in my column, I would always remind people that I am just a listener who has a lot of experience, and that I just encourage everybody to go listen to music, turn yourself over to the experience, and then respond. And that is criticism as far as I'm concerned. I recognize that has been my path. My path has been avoiding fame. That's all I can think of. I mean, because fame has avoided me. Maybe because I was a child of the '60s, I just didn't trust being famous in that way. And it's something, and it may have helped me to not get locked into whatever it was I was doing at a particular time. My curiosity is probably the strongest engine running inside me. I feel I've lived a lot of different lives. So a lot of this is because of, I just wonder, what would happen if da 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 da.